All right, in this lesson, we're gonna start with a little review on our algebra, going back a couple months. So the left side is gonna be simplifying these terms, the right side is gonna be distributing and then simplifying, and the last one is gonna be a little review on inequalities. Go ahead and pause the video, try these 5 on your own in 1 second. We will go ahead and go over these together. All right, looking over these. This first one I see terms with A, terms with B, so most likely there's going to be 2 terms in my final answer unless they all cancel out. In this case, they don't. We have a positive 5A, a minus 3A, and a positive 8A. So got boxes. Remember, we code these, we put like terms in the same shape, so I've got boxes around my A's. We have 5A minus 3A, which is 2A. 2A plus 8A is 10A. Put circles around the B's. I have a positive 6B and a negative 2B. AKA 6B minus 2B is 4B. Remember, it's not a minus 4B because 6 minus 2 is still positive 4, so we have 10A plus 4B. Or if you rearrange it, 4B plus 10A is also correct. Looking at my n's, I see 3n plus 2n. There are no more n's, so that's going to be 3n plus 2n is 5n. And then we have a positive 6m minus 2m and a minus m. Remember, when there's not a coefficient, it's assumed that there's just a 1 in front of that, so we have 6m minus 2m is 4m, 4m minus m, so it's going to be a positive 3m. So we have 5n plus 3m, 5n, plus 3m, or 3m plus 5n, both work. Now, one step further, distribution. Remember, the number directly outside the parentheses gets multiplied by everything on the inside. In this case, this 2a is separated by a plus sign, so we can't do anything with that quite yet, I should say. So drop it down, we'll do that later. 4 is going to get multiplied by everything on the inside. So we have 4 plus 3a is 12a. And then 4 times 5b is 20b. Combining like terms, I see a 12a plus 2a, so we have 14a. The 20b is by itself, so it can't combine anything, so it's going to be 14a plus 20b is going to be your final answer. Or again, 20b plus 14a, also correct. The term by itself over here is this 2n. Notice it's separated by the plus sign, so drop that down. We have 2n plus the 3 is getting distributed amongst the inside. So we have 3 times 2n, 6n, and then 3 times 4a, which is 12a. 12a is by itself, so it's going to be the final answer. Positive 6n, positive 2n, 2n plus 6n is 8n, plus the 12a is by itself, so that's in the final answer. So 8n plus 12a, or 12a plus 8n. Last but not least, inequalities. Remember, inequalities are less than, greater than, less than or equal to, or greater than or equal to. They're different than equations. Remember, equations have equal signs. They have one answer. An inequality is going to have an infinite number of solutions, okay? And you find these inequalities with keywords. In this case, it's going to be at least. So the Hornets need to win at least 5 games to make the playoffs. That means they need to win 5 or more games. In this case, G represents games. So it'd be games, they need to win 5 or more. So greater than or equal to the number 5. Now, if you keep reading it though, it says they've already won 3. So we got to include that. So the games plus the 3 they've already won has got to be greater than or equal to the 5 to make the playoffs. Now, just like one-step equations, we got to isolate our variable. We got to get that G by itself. So in order to get the G by itself, we got to get rid of the plus 3. And the inverse of plus 3 is minus 3. Remember, what we do to one side, we got to do the other. Those 3's cancel. And G is going to be greater than or equal to 2. So your final answer, the inequality is going to be G is greater than or equal to 2. That means they need to win 2 or more games in order to make those playoffs. Now, getting into the new part of the lesson, we're going to be going over box and whisker plots. Go ahead and pause the video, copy this stuff down. These are going to be vocabulary that we will be referring to pretty much throughout this unit of statistics and graphing these box and whisker plots. We got our minimum, quartile 1, our median, quartile 3, and our maximum. Hopefully you paused that video there. And moving on to define them a little further. So the lower extreme is going to be, let me click. The lower extreme is going to be our smallest number on a data set. So whenever you see a dot right here, that's going to be the smallest number. This is our minimum. MIN, short for minimum. On the contrary, the max, aka the maximum, is going to be the biggest number in the data set. The median is going to be that middle number. So whenever you see a line in the middle of a box, that's going to be our median. Quartile 1, aka the lower quartile, is going to be the middle of the lower half. We'll get into that a little later, but just know that the start of the box is Q1 and the end of the box is Q3. Please pause the video, write these terms down, as they will help you throughout this lesson and lessons moving on. So when we look at these data points, the median is going to be the middle number. Now you have to find the middle number after ordering them from least to greatest. It's the only way to do it. Once you order them from least to greatest, the median is going to be that middle number. Now anything to the left of that middle number is going to be considered the lower half. In order to find Q1, you then have to find the median, again, you got to find the median of that lower half. That's Q1, that's where that box begins. After you find the median, then you split it on this side. Anything to the right is going to be the upper half. To find Q3, you then have to find the median of the higher half, or the greater half of those numbers. Once you find the middle number of the upper half, that's where the box ends. Like I said, the lower half is going to be where the box begins. Minimum, maximum is probably the easiest to find. Minimum is going to be the smallest number, maximum is going to be the biggest number. All right, let's go over creating a box and whisker plot. So, for this, you can copy it down if you want. I would just pay attention, practice creating one of these box and whisker plots. So, again, we said the first step is to order this from least to greatest. When I'm looking at these numbers, 3, 6, 9, 12, so far so good. But then we have 2, 5, 8, 12, 13. They're definitely not in order from least to greatest. So, if I were to rearrange it, it would look like this. The first step is to find the median. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 values. Whenever there's an odd number of values, there's just going to be one middle number. So in this case, it's 8. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 to the left, 1, 2, 3, 4 to the right. Easiest way to find the middle number is just to cross out the smallest value and the biggest value. The next smallest, the next largest, the next smallest, next largest, and then gives you 8. Our 8s are median. So notice they draw a line above the number 8 on the number line. That's going to be that middle, or that line in the middle of the box. Or it won't always be in the middle. That's going to be the line within the boxes, I can say. The next step is finding Q1. Remember I said to find Q1, you got to split the data up into the lower half and upper half. In this case, they go to the median and they take the numbers to the left of it. So to the left of 8, we have 2, 3, 5, and 6. The two numbers in the middle are 3 and 5. Well, you can only have one median. So we can't use the numbers 3 and 5 for our median. So in order to find this, we have to add these two up and then divide by 2. So 3 plus 5 is 8. And then 8 divided by 2 gives you 4. And it makes sense because median means the middle number. Ask yourself, what is in the middle of 3 and 5? It's going to be 4. So 4 is quartile 1. That's where that box begins. Now we have to find where the box ends, quartile 3. So instead of finding the lower half, now we find the upper half. So all the numbers to the right of our median, all the numbers to the right of 8, we have 9, 12, 12, and 13. Well, similar to what we did over here, we did 3 plus 5 divided by 2. Got to take the two numbers over here. Well, we have 12 plus 12 is 24. 24 divided by 2 is still 12. Makes sense because you ask yourself, what's in the middle of 12 and 12? Nothing itself, just 12. So the box is going to end at a number 12. So here's where the box is going to start. That's our median, the line in the box, and this is where the box is going to end. Last but not least, the whiskers, like I said, the easiest part to find is going to be the smallest and the biggest numbers. So the smallest number is 12 or 2. Put a dot above 2 and then connect it with a line. The greatest value is 13. Notice the number line's counting by 2s. So 12 and 14, obviously 13 got to be somewhere in between that. So halfway between 12 and 14, put a dot and connect it. And there you constructed a box and whisker. It's that easy. Now, an important thing to remember is that each part of this is going to make up 100% of the data. Because it's split into 4 sections, each little section is going to be worth 25%. So from the minimum to the start of the box, it's 25%. From the start of the box to the line in the middle, the median, is another 25%. From the median to the end, it's 25%. And from the end of the box to that last whisker, it's another 25%. 25, 25, 25, and 25 equals all the data. But just know that each little portion represents 1/4 or 25% of the entire data set. So, and they asked like how much of the data is to the right or greater than the median, it'd be 25 and 25, that'd be 50%. If they said how much of the data is less than quartile 3, it'd be 25, 25, and 25, so that would be 75%. So just know that each little section is worth 25%. Excuse me. All right, this one you should practice on your own. You can go ahead and pause the video, you can try and beat me to it, or if you just want to copy it down and follow along as I go, completely fine. Remember, the first step though is to order from least to greatest. When I'm looking at these numbers, I notice that they already are in order from least to greatest. So the hard part's done for us. Now, I cross far left, far right, far left, far right. I notice that again, 8 is going to be in the middle. There's 4 to the left, 4 numbers to the right, so that 8 is going to be my median. So we're going to put a line right above the 8. Now, the lower half is to the left of that 8. So we have 1, 2, 4, and 7. To find where the box begins, to find quartile 1, look at our 2 middle numbers. We got to find the median between 2 and 4, so you do 2 plus 4 is 6. And then 6 divided by 2 is 3, which makes sense because 3 is in the middle of 2 and 4. So we're going to go, it's 2, 4, so 3 would be right there. That's where the box begins. You can even create part of the box if you want to. Next part, quartile 3 is going to be the median of the upper half. So the 2 middle numbers are 11 and 12. If you do 11 plus 12, you get 23, and 23 divided by 2 is 11 and a half. Makes sense because what's in the middle of 11 and 12? You can say 11.5 or 11 and a half. So that would be approximately right there. That's the next part of the box. Last but not least, the easiest part. Look at our minimum. It's 1. So put a dot above where 1 would be and then connect it to the box. The maximum is 14. That would be a dot right above the 14. Connect it, and there you have a box and whisker. Minimum, Q1, median, Q3, maximum. All right, on your own, try and do this one. Now we'll talk about IQR here in a second, but you should be able to identify the minimum, maximum, median, Q1 and Q3 before we go over this. All right, again, first step, order from least to greatest. This is definitely not an order from least to greatest. So I have 3, there's another 3, 12 is gonna be probably over here. We got 7 and 8. Got another 4, 5, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 11, 12, 15. All right, now we have it in order from least to greatest. Now we can go ahead and start making our box and whisker plot. So the number line is obviously got to span from 3 to 15. So if we were to make this, obviously the minimum is going to be above the 3. The maximum is going to be above the 15. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 values this time. So to find the middle number, we're probably going to need 5 numbers on either side. It looks like 7 is our minimum. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the right. So yes, 7 is going to be our minimum. So on a number line, that middle number, that line is going to be above 7. Now looking at the lower half are these numbers, to the left of that 7. So you have 3, 3, 4, 4, and 5. That is our middle number there. There's 2 to the left of it, to the right, so that Q1 is going to be above 4. And then looking over here, 11 is our Q3, the middle number of the upper half, so that's going to be 11. That's where the box ends. We can go ahead and connect that box and connect it to the whiskers. And you just complete the box and whisker plot. When I asked about the minimum, obviously it's going to be 3. Maximum in this case is 15. Median was 7. Q1 is 4. Q3 is 11. Making this 5-point data set helps you create the box and whisker. You probably should do that first. But then the IQR talks about the interquartile range. The interquartile range deals with just the box. Interquartile range, aka IQR, just basically asks the range of the box. So how far the Q1 is from the Q3. So you find this by doing Q3 minus Q1. Basically, how far 4 is from 11. Well, 11 minus 4 is 7. So you can say the IQR, the interquartile range, is 7. After that, if you have any questions, please go back, take notes, rewatch if you need to. But at this point, you should be able to complete the bit.ly and the exit ticket. Have any questions? Please reach out, email us. We are here.